Hi, beloveds. It's Angelina Marie, and I'm a psychic medium. And I wanted to talk about something I'm calling the victim perpetrator false templating. And what that is when one identifies with either being a victim or a perpetrator. And so I'm going to use myself as an example. So, because of some early childhood trauma, at a really early age, I identified as being a victim. And because I identified with being a victim, my perception of the world was that it was unsafe. And I unconsciously created situations in my life that would validate for me that I was a victim. And I would attract perpetrators into my life that could re-victimize me. And part of it was that they were willing participants, but the other part of it was because it was easier for me to believe that I was a victim that than to confront the responsibilities and the pain and suffering that I was feeling because of early childhood trauma. It was easier for me to blame the world than to look at myself and look at the wounding and see what the underlying spiritual value was of these experiences and what my soul wanted to learn from these experiences. And so for a long time in my life that I attracted, like I said, sometimes they were willing participants. And the perpetrator is also, the energy between a victim and a perpetrator is the same. It's the same energy. It's just expressed in a different way. So both the victim and the perpetrator, they both feel that it's a lack mentality, that there's not enough. The victim feels like she or he has something that could be taken away, whereas a perpetrator feels like he or she there's just not enough in the world, and that whatever is good, they have to take it. And there's even purpose in that too. So what I was explained about this situation is that the universe created this victim perpetrator false templating in a hopes for people to, one, look at the core wounding. And so as we continue to reenact the original core wounding, there's hope on a universal level that will start looking deeper and see the patterns that are happening in our lives, seeing like, I'm attracting the same person over and over again. There has to be more than this, and I don't want to continue to do this, and then to go deeper within and try and understand what that's about. And so it's this sacred dance between the perpetrator and the victim, and the sacred dance is all about healing those core woundings, and it's the universe's hope that through the dance, through this interaction between the victim and perpetrator, that we can find to acknowledge what our experiences were, two, to honor that we had those experiences, and also learn to see the deeper truth underneath the experiences. And as we can kind of go through that process of allowing our experiences to be what they are, and allowing the perpetrator to have their experience, to let go of that. For me as a victim, I always wanted to be right. So for me to let go of the need to be right and allow the perpetrator also to have their experience, allows for an absolution to kind of come through. It's not a forgiveness because for me that still indicates that someone did something wrong, and there's something that needs to be forgiven. But in absolution, it just means things are what they are. And um, and when I stopped blaming, I realized that everything happens for the perfect reason it's supposed to happen. And it doesn't have to be changed or fixed. We can just kind of allow um, people to have their experiences. And so I feel like it's such a vital part um, of life. And I also think that a lot of people probably resonate with this because it's just such a core wounding, and so many people have experienced um, particularly early childhood traumas in their lives. Um, I'm just going to check in and see if I was supposed to say anything else about it. Yeah, and releasing the guilt and shame that kind of comes along with playing that role for so long. Um, Once I had the realization um, that I identified with a victim, and I saw how because I needed it was I needed to blame the world around me for my experiences, that I did create a lot of suffering, particularly in my relationships. And I had a lot of shame that came up around feeling that. And we just have to sit with that. The emotions that come up, just sit with them and allow them to be. That the shame has wisdom too, and the guilt has wisdom too, and know that when the time is right for you to let go of this false templating, that the universe really supports us as we're really wanting to go deep, and as we're really trying to release the past so that we can move forward in our future. Um, and then know too, as these, I call them as the shame and guilt and fear kind of come up around them, that those things just need acknowledgement too. And so for me, when the shame came up, it was really tough. And so I treated it like I would a dear friend. You know, if I had a dear friend that was suffering, what would I do for her? And I would treat her sweetly. And so I invited shame into my life. I invited this part of me that felt shame to have treats. We went to dinner together and enjoyed dinner and watched a movie together. And then we had some cake together. And, you know, I didn't need to fix my shame. It didn't need to go away. I wanted it to know that it was perfect. And it had so much value to teach me. And it's something that, you know, now I treasure that I had this experience with it, and that in the past I would have tried to fix it, and I would have gone to my spiritual toolbox and done some Tonglen or done some meditations to try and get rid of it. But all of us just wants to be allowed. Every part of us just wants to be allowed and honored for its wisdom. And shame is one of them. Guilt is one of them. Fear is one of them. So just when these feelings come up, just open your heart, let them be, allow them in, and know that there is something beautiful to be learned from these things. And when I let go of having to be in the victim perpetrator false templating, I realized my power, and I realized that I've always been powerful. It was the part of myself that was afraid to acknowledge this childhood wounding that kept me in a place of fear. And once I worked through it, now I can see that the world is safe and the world is beautiful, and that it all has purpose and meaning, and there's no accidents and no mistakes. And I just want to share this with you because it was such a powerful experience for me that that I feel honored to be able to share it with you. So I do private sessions. If you're interested in learning more about this, please contact me on my website below, and I would be more than honored and pleased to help you on your journey too. I send you so many blessings, dear brave souls, and yes, have a wonderful day.